We have a crisis on our hands. Birds are dying, and you know how they're dying? They are crashing into windows. Today, we're talking about bird-safe glass. Am I being too dramatic? Turns out no. In the United States alone, between 100 million and 1 billion birds die each year after hitting windows. Based on the estimate that there are about 20 billion birds in the United States, that means about 5% of them die every year due to windows. What? Are birds okay? I did some digging into these statistics and found them to be just estimates. However, several organizations and published studies over the past decades also show the number of deaths to be within this range. Whatever the exact number, windows are bad news for birds. But come on birds, why can't you see windows? Birds often crash into windows because during the daytime, these windows show reflections of the sky and trees. So birds fly right at it thinking it's a wide open space, only to meet a glass window. The thing is, humans also can't see glass. The reason glass is used to make windows is because it's transparent. But millions of humans don't die each year because they crash into windows. I mean, I only walk into a glass door like twice a week. Humans are often able to identify where glass doors and windows are based on the structural cues that surround them, such as the right angles of a building. Birds can learn these cues too. Birds kept in zoos are able to figure out where the glass is and stay away from the people gawking at them. However, even though birds are able to learn this, they are not able to generalize it to all windows in all buildings. During a majority of bird evolution, there were no glass windows or doors, so their brain didn't learn to identify it. Generalization is the phenomenon where you learn something from one experience and you're able to generalize it to other experiences. For example, if you get bitten by a dog, you might develop a fear of all dogs, not just the breed of dog that bit you. Generalization is really useful for learning about the world around us. But even birds that learn to recognize where a window is, let's say in their home, they are not able to generalize this to all buildings while flying. Of course, birds can't see glass, neither can we, but birds can't identify the structural cues of buildings either, and so they crash into these windows. Another factor is that birds fly at very high speed. While we may walk into a glass door, the crash won't be fatal. But birds flying at fast speeds during migration are very likely to have a crash that is fatal. Also, birds' eyes, unlike ours, are on the side of their head. This gives them a better peripheral view of the world around them to avoid being hunted by predators. However, that also means they lack depth perception that animals with eyes on the fronts of their head have. So they might see their own reflection as another bird or simply a wide open space because their depth perception is limited. Also, most bird crashes happen during migration season. This makes sense because that is when the most birds are flying in masses, possibly through or near urban areas. And final factor, in many bird species, the males are territorial, which means they'll protect their nearby territory. So if they see their own reflection in the glass, they might think it's another male trying to crash onto their space, and they will go and attack their own reflection and die. I'm so sorry, birds. I'm so sorry we do this to you. While birds hitting glass windows might seem a little silly, it's actually a very big concern. Some species are more prone to hitting glass windows because of their migratory patterns and high populations in metropolitan areas. Many of these species are also threatened or their populations are declining, so they are in need of protection. So how can we save the birds? One way is ultraviolet coating. Birds can see UV light. So by coating windows in a material that reflects UV rays, it would look opaque to birds, but still transparent to humans. This coating can be in the form of lines, whether they're crisscross, vertical, or horizontal, or dots, all of which reflect UV light. Another method is called fritting, in which little ceramic dots are placed at certain intervals on the glass. Studies have explored the best distance at which the dots should be placed for them to be most likely seen by birds, as well as what percentage of the glass should be covered by the dots. These very specific studies can be implemented into policies and architectural practices to make buildings as safe as possible for birds. Things like blinds, awnings, and overhangs can also serve as cues to keep birds away from windows. Some buildings even have exterior screens, sunshades, and shutters built into them by design. Birds can see the metal bars and won't crash into the glass underneath it. You can even make your own home bird safe by adding things like bird tape, adhesive dots that act like frits, even leaving your windows dirty so the birds can see them. The cool thing about this is that we need more than just peer-reviewed papers. We need architects and city planners working together with bird scientists to make these environments safe and prevent bird deaths. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for a new video every single week. And remember that science is everywhere. And if you're a bird, stay safe out there.